It's your favorite host doing the most, and you know I love the most. And welcome to 2023. I'm Mo Manifest, and welcome to Give a Mo Podcast. This is the first episode. It's special because it's also Episode.9. And if you've been following, you know how I feel about 9. It's the beginning of the year, but it's also 9 is the number of completion. So today's episode, we're going to start off with something really good, something that a lot of people may be going through right now because it's the beginning of the year, but something also unexpected they may be going through. So we're going to pick a side. By the end of this episode, you need to pick a side. So today, the episode is, are you in a resolution or are you in a retrograde? And there is a middle in there where you're neither. So there is 3 sides, but we're focusing on the resolution or the retrograde. So normally the resolution is when you decide that you're going to stop doing something or you're going to start doing something. I'm going to start going to the gym. You know, that's everybody's biggest resolution. And good luck with that, you know, because some people follow through. And sometimes it's hard when you're stuck in the mud. But, you know, we have the New Year saying, New Year, New Me. We shouldn't shame or bash people for thinking that way. And then on the other side, we got the retrograde. Now, what is a retrograde? It's something that occurs spiritually in the universe that makes you feel like you're going backwards. It's like a blast from the past. It's like deja vu, but in constant motions for about 30 days, or however long that they last, because all of them different and all of them affect everybody differently. Now, some would say going backwards is a bad thing, but you know we like turning negatives into positives. If you was able to go back and revisit the past or go in the future and change some things or see things from a more elevated point of view and then revisit them with a different logic, wouldn't you want to do that? Some people would. So I look at the retrograde as a chance to alter or a chance to revisit or a chance to see where you may have made a mistake or a chance of deja vu but in active motion. I look at a resolution, which a lot of people are going into. I want to read more. It's a positive way to influence and do yourself to do things that you feel like you lacked or didn't do. So my process for resolution is to not put too much pressure on yourself when you're not achieving those things. You know, to mentally try to shift yourself, especially in the middle of a season. You're essentially in the middle of winter by the time the new year starts. And if you know anything about nature and how life works, normally as the seasons change, attitudes change. It's wintertime, you know, you got cuffing season and you get springtime and you got all these different seasons represent different things. You know, normally you can't just stop doing something. The whole winter and how you ended the year, you was doing something one way. And it takes a lot of discipline and determination to just stop doing that. But resolution, I'm making up words again, like humanitarian. First of all, I think they shadow banned me on my last episode, but it's okay. If you haven't seen humanitarian, my last episode, please check it out. It's a dope episode. It's one of my favorite I've done. But back to what I was saying. If you in the middle of a resolution and making things happen, cool. But if you're not progressing the way you want to, just remember you have 365 days to alter and change. I've been reading a book called Atomic Habits. I read a book called Atomic Habits where it teaches you how to make tiny changes to your habits to create new habits. You're not just going to overnight. There's not many people that could turn that light switch and go from, you know, eating unhealthy to eating healthy or not drinking enough water to drinking a lot of water and just stay in that mindset, right? You may say, I want to go on a 7-day eating fast, and it may take you time to get there. You may go from eating 3 times a day to 2 times a day, and go from, instead of going straight into a big fast, you may go into a 12-hour fast. There's different elements that goes into how you can take habits and build good ones and trick yourself or condition yourself to be better. Now, let's get into the retrograde. There's a lot of situations that we go through in life that could be distasteful or fun. And what if I told you that this world, this universe, these seasons provide you the ability to get a blast from the past or deal with deja vu in a different way? Just imagine if you handled the situation poorly and it stayed on your mind and God or whomever you believe in, because you know at the Give 'em More podcast, we don't force you to believe in nothing but inspiration. But God, the universe, whatever you choose to believe in, gave you the ability to see something from a different person from the past or from the same person, and you get to address it differently. See, that's the beauty of the retrograde. But then there's a dark side to it where you get down, you go backwards for real. You feel like you moving backwards while the days are moving forward. You're going back into old habits. And that's why we compare the resolution to the retrograde, because we don't want to go backwards. But if you find yourself going backwards and you can catch yourself or you can learn something from it, then going forward will be a lot easier. And all I'm saying is there are some people that's not experiencing none of that right now. There are some people that's in the middle. Me personally, I'm kind of in the middle of both, right? In a different way. Like mine is like, what's the pie chart called? I can't remember, where you got the two circles and then you got a little circle in the middle where you got characteristics of both of them. I can't remember the exact name. If you get this far, put it in the comments. I can't think of what it is. But when we comparing and contrasting, and I'm kind of in the middle of, I'm making resolutions, but I'm not forcing myself to just jump off the ledge and make big changes. I'm taking small steps to make significant changes, while I'm also revisiting situations from my past in business and life where I may have handled something poorly, or I may have handled something one way, and I get the opportunity to see it from a different point of light and a different point of view and a different mindset, because I done lived life since then. I done moved forward since then, and then I get to go back to get a different type of look at it. It's nothing like being able to experience something that go good or bad and then get to see it from a different view, a bird's eye view, from a different angle. Because as we grow, as we get older, as we progress, we should gain knowledge over time, day by day, minute by minute, second by second. At some point, you should be learning something new, or aging, or your mindset should be growing. And if it's not growing in that way, it's okay. Everybody has their different time. So our thing is, whether you're going through a resolution, and you know you are, and you take small steps, take your time, small bites can still fill you up. Take your time. Or you going through a retrograde and you going backwards. Take your time. Sometimes you need to go backwards to see what's going on. Sometimes you need to feel like you're going backwards. Or whether you're in the middle and you kind of neutral and you're not really on either side. There's nothing wrong with sometimes taking that middle road and avoiding both change and going backwards. Either way it goes, as long as you're progressing, that's the only goal. And then whether you comparing and contrasting and you're taking characteristics of both, remember, there is no wrong in decision making. Purposeful choosing as a distant episode for another podcast. Shout out to the Throne Talk Society, Throne Talk Podcast, and Mikey. I definitely appreciate the opportunity. When you're making a choice, it's up to you, your ethics, your belief system, and your three levels, your mind, your heart, and your gut. And if you make a decision out of those, it can't be wrong in your book. People may perceive it a certain way. So once again, it's the first episode of the year. I'm not going to keep you too long. We 9 episodes into the season. And this has been a beautiful journey because I'm having so much fun that I remember last year doing 9 episodes felt like a task. And a year before that, doing 9 episodes felt like so much. But now we're getting to the point where we're doing it a day of. I almost could just do them live. And we may get to that. But I really appreciate everyone who takes the time to tune in, because I really do it hoping that 1 or 2 or 3, 100, 200, 300, 1,000 people can tune in and take something from these episodes. So it's 2023, and I'm the same me, but I'm resolutioning, as I make up a word, and I'm retrograding, because I like to experience both sides, compare and contrast, allow myself to go backwards and see the future, and allow myself to take my habits forward. So to everybody who tuned in, happy 2023, and it's your favorite host doing the most, eating all of the boast. Peace.